Today, we are going to look at the environment for small businesses and, of course, entrepreneurship management. Remember when we were talking about the forms of business ownership? So there are certain decisions that are taken which forms risks of a business, and their external business environment. Normally, every business operates within the external and the internal environment. The external environment, they are the uncontrollable variables that managers must take into cognizance. It involves things like the economic factors, the legal or political factors, socio-cultural factors, technological factors, international factors. And of recent, we are looking at other factors like the physical / ecological factors, public opinion, social environment, and the competitive environment. Introduction. A business organization is a product of its environment, and it exists to satisfy some needs and wants in the environment. Whether the organization is a profit, government, church, charity, or civil organization. Therefore, the business environment provides the reason for the life of a business organization. As business environments become more complex and dynamic, business enterprises must also become more entrepreneurial in order to identify new business opportunities for sustained efficiency and effectiveness. Environment has been defined or can be defined as the totality of the factors that affect, influence, or determine the operations and or performance of a business. The environment determines what is possible for the organization to achieve. The environment provides the lifeblood for the organization by providing a market for its product and services, and by serving as a source of resources. To be successful, therefore, an organization must interact with its environment because it supplies the organization with inputs in the form of resources that are necessary for providing its products and services. Every organization exists within an extensive and complex environmental network. An organization environment refers to all groups, norms, and conditions with which an organization must deal with. It includes such things as the political, cultural, economic, religious, educational, and other relevant factors that affect an organization and which are in turn affected by it. The environment of an organization can be seen as the total set of outside forces surrounding and coloring the behavior of the organization, its members, and part. Since no organization of an industry is immune to its environment, managers of small business organizations and also other managers should pay much attention to environmental issues that relates to their businesses. We have to discover one basic thing. The environment by its nature is constantly changing. And the moment the environment, things happen in the external environment, the business that exists within such environment must also change its style of operation, method of production, or even the type of product or service is now offering. Because in the environment, you have the customers and their tastes are always changing. In the environment, you have new methods of doing things, technology. And the moment technology comes in and offer new and cheaper things, you must equally change. Take for instance, current environment based on technology, you can now sit in the comfort of your home. The lecturer is sitting in his comfort of his office to have deliver lecture and it's getting right to you. You can get back to play these lectures over and over. So what happens? Certain organizations, they say, oh, we don't want to change based on the new style of doing things. They will end up not satisfying their customers properly, or they may even lose customers. So the environment is always changing, bringing in new ways of doing things. And that is why it becomes very necessary for you to understand what we call business environmental scanning. What do we mean by that? This is a proactive managerial approach of successfully coping with the factors and trends that affect an organization's environment. It involves monitoring and evaluating relevant environmental changes that may not have been noticed but are important in business performances. 2. Of recent, we have what we call lobbying. By lobbying, you discovered for you to succeed successfully these days in businesses, you must have a group of people that will end up lobbying to make sure that your businesses are protected from unfavorable legislations and law. 3. Direct political actions. Another way in which a small business organization may attempt to influence their environment is direct political actions. Managers who do not hold public offices can exercise political power by encouraging employees, stakeholders, and other organizational components to take action. Illegal actions. This can also be seen operating within the environment, which must be taken care of. And we have what we call market and non-market business environment. Business organizations operate in both a market business environment and a non-market business environment. Structures of the markets and the forms of competitions among market participations are the major features of the market business environment. In this market business environment, companies interact with customers, clients, consumers, suppliers, employees, and other companies. What about the non-market business environment? The non-market business environment, which operates in the legal, political, and economic context in which companies are embedded, is characterized by some issues such as some issues which companies must address the relevant interests and stakeholders involved. We are now more interested in looking at the business environment in Nigeria. And when we are looking at the business environment and the enabling business environment for successful small businesses and entrepreneurship in Nigeria, we need to look at electricity and the constant availability of electricity, transportation, communication, financial infrastructure, water supply, educational infrastructure. Now, entrepreneurial performance or sustainability is therefore largely determined by the following environmental factors. That when we look at performances of businesses that are entrepreneurs, we will discover certain factors influence the way businesses operate. They include, among others, economic factors, legal or political environment, socio-cultural environment, technological environment, international environment, physical or ecological factors, industry environment, public opinion, which we call consumer environment, social environment, and competitive environment. What are there in the economic environment that you must understand and take into cognizance? You discover that we have three major types of economic system. We have the socialist, capitalist, and mixed economic system. Each of them has its implication for business performance. In the socialist system, which does not allow private ownership of the means of production, government takes all the business initiatives and does all the planning. In the capitalistic system, on the other hand, it permits private ownership of the means of production, and so enables firms to use their initiative to carry on production and distribution as a demand fix. However, in a mixed economy, the type we have in Nigeria is a blend of capitalism and socialism. In it, we have private and public enterprises existing side by side. Another interesting aspect that control businesses within the environment, what we call the legal and political environment. The political environment covers a wide spectrum. Apart from embracing legal and government pressure, this environment has to do with the philosophy of the ruling political party. Each party has its own philosophy, which it intends to actualize when it comes into power. Legal and political pressures on business include government activities, price control, income, and policy guidelines, along with due process and indigenization laws. Also, we can have legal pressure on business, and it can be seen in numerous laws in a country affecting business, such as safety laws, labor laws, anti-pollution laws, and laws governing the sales of goods and services. Another strong environmental variable that small business owners along with entrepreneurs need to take into consideration, because it affects their performances directly, is what we call the socio-cultural environment. This is an environmental factor. This environmental factor include: 1, changing habits and priorities of the people, because once their habit changes, it affects the demand for the firm's products. It also includes their social life, the social life of people, the people, customs and beliefs, and of course, what they may regard as good to eat and not good to eat. Sociocultural factors are pressure emanating from the social structure of a country or society in form of their national culture. Pressure from both sources can either constrain or facilitate the way organizations operate and managers behave. Social structure is an arrangement of relationship between individuals and groups in a society. Societies differ substantially in social structures. In societies that have high degree of social stratification, class differences, there can be distinction among such individuals and groups. We're coming to discuss that in greater detail. The most dangerous aspect of the environment, which businesses must take into cognizance, is the technological environment. Things are changing. People are always thinking, becoming more innovative and creative, thinking of the best way to solve problems in the easiest way. In those days, as a business person, once you invent a product, it may take you close to 10 years to enjoy that loyalty. But these days, you invent or produce any new product, give it 3, 4, 5 months. Competitors will come using technology to produce better ones. Technology has affected the way we do things. Some people blame technology as a contributor to environmental deterioration more than others. Though technology is without doubt a contributing factor in environmental problem. Any business that adapts to new environment, look at what is happening. Nasarawa State University, the Vice Chancellor invested a lot on a lot on ICT gadgets that we can easily now use to reach a large population of students, thereby delivering lectures efficiently, effectively, and economically. You discover the whole essence of technology is to enhance greater performance in an ever-changing business world. In addition, with the firm's ability to cope with the high level of competition, businesses are always thinking of the best way to do business. Technology has gone a long way and is truly affecting the way things are done. Products can be produced very cheaply now. Some gadgets that used to consume a lot of light, with less current now you can man such gadgets, and all these things are called due to what we call innovation and due to what we call creativity and innovation that brings in through technology. That's why when you move further, we're going to talk about technopreneurship. That this is, even in entrepreneurship, we want to see how we can have sustainable technology that will increase productivity. In the past, you can operate your businesses and say, oh, it's just the business environment being regulated locally. But these days, we have international environment, which a business person must understand. Because the world is now a global village. It is now well understood that a businessman's actions are influenced by the environment, and conversely, that his action helps to shape the environment. It is becoming more and more evident that the international aspect of business environment, and indeed for all businessmen to relate to that particular operation, is giving a broader dimension to businesses. In essence, the factors to take into account in studying the international environment are the adaptability of foreign technology and equipment to local environment, the efficient levels of inflation, and the relative cost at the international market. Also of importance to note of the international environment is the constantly fluctuating exchange rate that affects the cost of doing businesses. Ecological environment like air, water, and noise pollution, landslides, desertation is currently receiving so much attention. The disposal of industrial waste has become an ecological problem facing business enterprises in Nigeria. Most of the waste are routinely dumped in landfills whose protective barriers cannot be content on to prevent dangerous chemicals from leaking into the soil and eventually into the water. In developed countries, manufacturers have started trying out several other methods of eliminating or neutralizing the hazardous byproducts. For example, some manufacturers use high temperature incineration. Others, they are now recycling waste. We are having situations where people are now using waste product to now recycle it into usable product in order to minimize the danger it may pose to the environment. And that is why you now discover we have a lot of what we call public opinion, powerful factor affecting business performances. Public now coming to cry out and say, no, we will not buy this product. No, we are going to ban this company from operating within our environment because they are not socially friendly. And it is in that premise we are coming to study what we call social responsibility. Public opinion now demanding that, look, organization producing product must also protect the customers, enhancing the rights and powers of the buyers and sellers, and also ensure the safety of the product, and also ensure the safety of the environment, because it's this, the safety of the environment, that will what? That will determine the continuous survival of the business. Continuous survival of the business. And of course, it leads us to also the social environment, because the business environment is constantly changing, and business organization must also alter its conception to keep in step with the changes. This has been particularly true of Nigerian business since the introduction of the Structural Adjustment Program. There's now the change in attitude towards social responsibility of business. The present attitude towards business is based on the concept of personal leadership in business affairs, skilled workers, interpersonal relationship, networking, and having wider relationship with the outside world. So when you are even talking about your stakeholders now in the social environment, you are not only looking at the internal stakeholders, but you must also look at the external stakeholders. And that is why in so many organizations, they now have what we call public relation units that can easily relate to activities of the business organization along with the outside world. Because we have various groups that now try to set pressures. Most importantly, we have labor unions, the stakeholders, and of course the general public, always trying to voice out what should be done. A close area that businesses must take very close look at and have close watch is the competitive environment. Businesses are becoming more and more complex. More and more people are coming out with new products, improving not just the quality of their product, but some are even providing products at lower prices. More and more people are responding to the market by trying to produce market-related products because of the activities of competitors. Managers are more concerned with the forces in their immediate competitive environment. They are always out to see what are the activities of their competitors. We have to remember one basic thing. In every businesses that you start, you discover the moment you start it, there will be new competitors. People coming in with a higher bargaining power of suppliers. So there is now rivalry among existing competitors. If you are running any business, you must be aware of the business competitive environment. Business competitive environment. Therefore, participants within the Nigerian business environment include: 1. Individuals who act as consumer of goods and services, labor to the organization, providers of capitals, and entrepreneurs to organization producing goods and services. 2. Business organizations, which are primary suppliers of goods and services used for production, distribution, and retailing of goods and services. They also act as competitors of business. 3. The state, who act as a consumer of goods and services, employer, producer of goods and services, and very importantly, playing the regulatory role of the economy. And that is why of recent we continue to say that in a highly competitive environment, government must now focus on creating what we call enabling environment by providing what we call the social overhead capital. What are the social overhead capital? These are things that will make the business environment to be a healthy environment. So if they can provide security, provide good network of rules, provide constant water supply, provide good hospitals, then the environment will be a little bit more healthy and it will enable businesses to perform. Government should play more role in the regulatory aspect of businesses rather than participating in business activities, and they should also assist in seeing how they can now control the business environment. Therefore, I give you a very simple exercise. 1. What do you understand by the business environment? 2. Write short notes on the following: the tax environment, the competitive environment, the public environment, and of course, the societal environment.